This video is brought to you by the Deck of Many and their Big Bad Booklet series. Hello and welcome back to The Gallant Goblin. Oh man, I think this is the book that Pathfinder fans have been waiting for. The Pathfinder 2nd Edition Advanced Player's Guide. This is the book that really starts to blow the doors open on Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We're going to do a giveaway associated with this video. To enter, be a subscriber and leave me a comment down below telling me what your favorite part of this book is. What are you most excited about? And we'll be drawing our winner in 2 weeks. The prize is a $25 gift certificate for Paizo.com. So you can pick up this book or whatever you want. When you compare D&D and Pathfinder, Pathfinder brings two core qualities to the table: a deep and interesting lore to its universe and a world of player customization. And this book is all about expanding our options for that player customization. In Pathfinder, your character has several distinct layers. Your ancestry is at the core. That's basically your DNA. You're a dwarf or a human or an elf, or maybe a goblin. Then your next layer is your heritage. That's largely where your ancestors were from. Maybe you're an Arctic elf, or a desert elf, or a cavern elf. Then you have your feats, which are kind of your techniques and your skills that you've developed in your experiences before you were an adventurer, or maybe even during gameplay. And then you have your background, which was your profession before you decided to hit the road and become an adventurer. Next is your class. Are you a wizard or a fighter perhaps? And each class has its own options as well. And finally, we have your archetype. These are additional abilities and techniques your character can learn instead of class feats that will further allow them to specialize themselves. So when you combine your ancestry, heritage, feats, background, class, and archetype, you are going to have a character that's completely unlike anybody else's. Since Pathfinder 2nd Edition is still just a newborn at this point, we've kind of gone back to basics. Let's just talk about classes to start with. Pathfinder 1st Edition had literally dozens of classes. Well, so far in 2nd Edition, we just have our core classes: Alchemist, Barbarian, Bard, Champion, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, and Wizard, and that's it. A measly 12 classes. Now, over the course of a few books, we've expanded our options for ancestries and heritages and backgrounds and archetypes, but for those major class options, nothing yet. So let's talk about what you're going to get in the Advanced Player's Guide here. First, you get 4 new classes, bringing us up to 16 total classes to choose from. We're adding the Investigator, Oracle, Swashbuckler, and Witch. The Investigator is an intelligence-based character. You see your adventures as a series of cases. You single in on a lead or a clue, which may be a creature or an item or a small location like a room. And depending on your various feats and your skills, you'll have bonuses to checks involving your lead, and you can have 2 active at once. With another investigator ability, you can take a little bit of the randomness out of battle using your devise a stratagem ability. Once per round, you can roll a d20 as an action. Then you will use the result of that roll for your next strike that you make this round. You also get to add your intelligence modifier to that strike roll instead of your strength or dexterity. But here's the kicker: if your target is the lead you're pursuing, rolling that d20 is a free action. As an investigator, you'll also choose a methodology: alchemical sciences, which will let you dabble in alchemy and crafting, and it enables you to make quick tinctures. Or you can choose empiricism, which helps you notice particularities in places you visit and recall knowledge, seek, or sense motive as a free action. Or forensic science, helping you treat allies using battle medicine and analyzing bodies for clues or cause of death. Your last methodology choice is interrogation, letting you ask pointed questions to get information out of your suspects. As an investigator, during the game, you will assist your team with investigations, helping the party stay on track during the story they're trying to follow. You will be the knowledge base of your group, and you'll be able to assist in combat by dealing calculated blows and discerning enemy weaknesses. The Oracle is a charisma-based class. The Oracle serves as a conduit for divine power beyond any one single deity. You understand the mysteries of the universe and choose one to pursue and draw upon its power to fuel your spells. But there's a drawback. The more power you draw, the more you become cursed. You are a divine spellcaster. The mysteries you have to choose from, at least in this book, are your ancestors who continue to haunt you, the battle heroes of legends, the bones of the dead, the stars and the space of the cosmos, fire and flames, life itself, knowledge and lore, and the winds and storms of the tempest. Your choice will determine what revelation spells you have access to. But these are the spells that fuel your curse as well. You always have some mild manifestation of your curse. It progresses to a minor effect the first time you cast a revelation spell each day, and that effect sticks around until you have a long rest. The second time you cast one of your revelation spells, you get a moderate effect. At higher levels, you can even go beyond that. But there's also, of course, many other factors that can affect your revelation spells and curses. If you choose the battle mystery, for example, you are trained in medium and heavy armor and become trained in all martial weapons of your chosen group. You become trained in athletics and learn the shield cantrip. Your revelation spells are Call to Arms, which gives you and your allies a bonus to their initiative rolls and some temporary hit points. Battlefield Persistence, which gives you a bonus to your saving throws. And Heroic Feat, which gives you access to specialized combat techniques drawn from the fighter feats. Now let's talk about your curse, as constant battles wear down your body. At a minor level, you get a penalty to AC and saving throws unless you are actively attacking something. At a moderate level, even that combat doesn't really make that penalty fully go away. But you do get bonuses to damage rolls and some fast healing, and the curse will progress from there, and that's just the battle curse. The Oracle will provide you with a lot of tough give-and-take choices during gameplay. Learning to live with those penalties or learning to manipulate them to your advantage will determine how long you're able to live as an Oracle. The Swashbuckler is a fun, dexterity-based class that emphasizes taking risks and making showy attacks that should liven up the stories you're telling. The Swashbuckler deals in panache, and in this game, you're either in panache or you aren't. To get into panache, you need to successfully perform a skill check associated with specific actions that have a bit of flair, like tumbling through and others that are dependent on your particular style, which we'll talk about in a moment. Your GM might rule that certain other activities, particularly ones that involve swinging from chandeliers, get you into a state of panache if you roll high enough on your skill checks too. Now, there are 5 main styles associated with being a swashbuckler. As a battle dancer, you'll dance and tumble around the battlefield, getting into panache when you perform. As a braggart, you enter panache mode when you successfully demoralize your foe. Or maybe you're a fencer, gaining panache by feinting and creating a diversion. As a gymnast, you will need to grapple, shove, or trip a foe. That kind of seems more like a wrestler trait to me. I don't know. Or maybe your domain is wit, and you gain the bon mot skill feat, and you enter panache when you successfully bon mot your foe using your diplomacy skill to distract. That reminds me a lot of the battle system from the old Monkey Island games. Now, when you have panache, you get a 5-foot bonus to your move speed, a +1 to tumble through or to take actions in your fighting style. You can deal extra precision damage, and you get access to certain new powerful abilities, which, after being used, will take you out of panache again. And, like all the other classes, there are all sorts of feats to further expand on all those concepts. And finally, the Witch, another intelligence-based caster class that reminds me a little bit of the Warlock from D&D. You are the agent of a mysterious, otherworldly patron that you probably don't fully understand. You'll have a special familiar, which will be your conduit to your patron, and through which you'll get your spells and your hexes. But ultimately, it's your patron's agenda that you may be pursuing and not your own. You'll choose the theme of your patron, but not its exact identity. The theme will dictate which spell list you'll have access to, what skills you become trained in, what special cantrip you'll learn, and what special spell you'll learn. For example, if your patron has the night theme, you'll have access to occult spells, be trained in occultism, have the cantrip Shroud of Night, which essentially blinds targets unless they have dark vision, and learn the spell Sleep. The other themes in the book are Curse, Fate, Fervor, Rune, Wild, and Winter. You'll learn about your patron through witch lessons, each of which gives you a hex and teaches your familiar a new spell. There are various lessons you can gain at different levels from feats or other effects. For example, The Lesson of Protection gives you the Blood Ward Hex, and your familiar will learn Mage Armor. Your familiar follows the regular rules of familiars as outlined in the core rulebook, but is even more powerful since it's a direct conduit to a higher power. Your familiar is the source and your repository of your spells. It gains spells as you level, as taught to it by your patron, but you can also feed it spell scrolls to teach it new spells from your spell list. And there are a few other ways to learn spells as well. Finally, hexes. You can cast 1 hex a turn, and they are a type of focus spell, which uses focus points, which you can regain with a short rest. They don't affect your spell slots. The Advanced Player's Guide also adds new options for existing classes. Everyone gets pages of new class feats. Plus, the Alchemist gets the Toxicologist research field to craft their own toxins. The Barbarian gets the Superstition instinct that makes them particularly good when combating spellcasters. The Bard gets the Warrior Muse, making them formidable in battle. The Champion is finally able to be the champion of an evil power, with options for lawful, neutral, and chaotic evil tenets. The Cleric gets new feats to empower allies and perform minor miracles. The Druid gets feats to grow their own weapons and plant spells in the ground like seeds. The Fighter gets feats to enable them to block spells using their blades or cut an opponent to pieces. The Monk gets new stance feats and ranged attack feats. The Ranger gets feats that lets them reshape the land and empower their animal companions. The Rogue gets 2 new rackets, Eldritch Trickster to add some spell slinging to the repertoire, and the Mastermind racket to better plot and scheme. The Sorcerer gets several new bloodlines, Genie, Nymph, Psychopomp, and Shadow. And the Wizard gets a new arcane thesis, the Staff Nexus, enabling them to have a powerful connection with the arcane staff that can even hold its own spells. The Advanced Player's Guide also adds in stats for 7 new animal companions: the Ape, Arboreal Sapling, Bat, Boar, Crocodile, Riding Drake, Scorpion, and Shark. New familiars like the Fairy Dragon, Imp, and Spell Slime are also added, with several new familiar abilities, which is a great addition for the Witch as well. For ancestries, we're getting Catfolk, Kobolds, Orcs, Ratfolk, and Tengu. We're also getting versatile heritages for Changelings, Dampiers, and planar scions like Tieflings and Angelkin. The versatile heritages can be used with any ancestry, so you can have a character who is basically half Catfolk and half Tiefling. We talked a good bit about these new ancestries and heritages in our review of the new Pathfinder City of Lost Omens pre-painted mini-set from WizKids. You can watch that review and learn all about those by clicking the eye in the corner of your screen. You can also get new racial feats for each of the core ancestries. Next, we get 22 new archetypes, as you can see here. Some of them will help you hone your combat abilities. Perhaps you want to specialize as a duelist or an archer or a dual weapon master. Some may help you expand your character's background as a dandy, a bounty hunter, or a gladiator. Perhaps you want to hone in on a specific arcane practice, like becoming a familiar master, which will let you make your familiar the mascot of your adventuring party, helping your whole group and not just yourself. You can learn to cast spells through your familiar, make your familiar more powerful, or attract even more powerful familiars. And some archetypes can come naturally as part of the story. If your character somehow received the blessing of a deity, you can take the Blessed One archetype, earning the ability to cast Lay on Hands or to remove harmful conditions from allies. They even sneak some old Pathfinder classes in here as well, from Pathfinder 1st Edition, like the Cavalier and the Vigilante, letting you essentially multi-class into those minor classes. There's also a whole host of new general feats and skill feats. Maybe you're a prescient planner, able to just pull the right item out of your sack when you need it, even if you didn't have it on your character sheet. Maybe you're good at finding good talent, giving any laborer you hire a +2 bonus to all their checks. There are quite a lot of options in here to really specialize your character even further. There's also dozens of new arcane, divine, occult, and primal spells to add to your repertoire. This book is in the Pathfinder Rulebook series, which you can get a subscription to on the Paizo website. The next book in the Pathfinder Rulebook series is Bestiary 3, due in March 2021. They generally release an average of 3 Pathfinder rulebooks a year. The Pathfinder Player's Guide is really an essential book for any Pathfinder group. At least someone in your group should have it. It's full of really interesting options to create memorable and powerful player characters, and it continues the second edition tradition of just excellent formatting and clear explanations. It's 271 pages long and has an MSRP of $49.99 for the hardcover or $14.99 for the PDF version. There's also a special edition bound in faux leather with metallic deboss cover elements and a bound in ribbon bookmark that should match your other Pathfinder 2nd Edition special editions. It's available for $69.99. Let me know what you think of these new character options in the comment section down below. Which new class interests you the most? What are the archetypes or the ancestries that you're most interested in? And don't forget to enter our sweepstakes, our drawing. All you have to do again is be a subscriber to the channel and leave that comment down below. And in 2 weeks, we'll draw a winner to win a $25 gift certificate to Paizo.com. Thank you to our sponsor, the Deck of Many, and their Big Bad Booklet series. The Big Bad Booklet is a monthly zine by the Deck of Many about boss monsters for 5th edition. This month, come meet King Bllrk, a sentient gelatinous cube with a taste for the finer things in life and an army of chef goons at his disposal. King Bllrk. He'll make you an offer you can't refuse. Subscribe today at bigbadbooklet.com. Thank you for watching today. This is just one of several Pathfinder 2nd Edition videos we're dropping today. Be sure to check out our other reviews, subscribe to see everything in your feed, and leave me a thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up button down below if you enjoyed the video, as that helps us grow our channel. Join in on the conversation on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Please stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.